Welcome to On the Vineyard, a 10-minute weekly wrap-up of news from the Vineyard Gazette Media Group on Martha's Vineyard. I'm publisher Monica Brady-Myrov. We're so glad you're here. On the Vineyard is sponsored by Martha's Vineyard Bank. Soon the cold will lift and the snow will melt, and we'll be hearing sounds of tennis on the Vineyard, especially in Oak Bluffs, which is bringing back an historic tennis club.
The goal of its revival is to really get kids of color to play tennis.
More on that story in a moment. This past week has been filled with music. This is high schooler Louise Lacerda, one of the two leads in the show Hadestown. The Martha's Vineyard Regional High School did an incredible job with the musical. There's so much talent in the school that there were two lead casts. Also last weekend, Livingston Taylor hosted an evening of song and storytelling. It was for the first anniversary of Still Point in West Tisbury, a new educational center that focuses on affordable programming, offering everything from Pilates to community suppers. The evening quickly sold out, so I went to the Chilmark Tavern instead to hear local musicians sing songs of love for Valentine's Day. This is John Stanwood singing a love song he likes to sing to his young child.
I love you. I love leaves in the wind, pictures of my friends, birds of the world, and squirrels.
Each performer sings two songs. Becky Williams and Rich Giamillo sang duets.
Oh, the merry-go, merry-go-round. Oh, the merry-go, merry-go-round. Round and round like a merry-go-round. With my true love right beside me.
It's all part of the Pathways Arts winter programming. That's the sound of the historic press in the Vineyard Gazette offices in Eggertown printing the paper. That means it's time to go upstairs to the newsroom and check in with Bill Evell and the reporters on this week's news.
Turning now to Louisa Hofstadter, who reported on the new steamship manager Alex Kriska's sweeping improvement plan for the boat line. Louisa attended the Board of Governors meeting on Tuesday, where Mr. Kriska spoke about his goals. Louisa, what do we have in store for us?
Quite a lot in the end, although we might not see much of it at first because Alex Kriska is beginning internally with his plans, starting with one-on-one interviews with everybody in management, just because he is new. He just came on board in January. This week was his second meeting with the Board of Governors, and he came equipped with a detailed plan that lays out a schedule over the next 18 months in which he intends to improve the culture, clarify the governance, restructure the financial planning, add multi-year planning, add more regular reporting.
Now, you've been covering the steamship for a long time, and it really seems from a lot of people who have been, attending the meetings and things that that Alex is starting in a much more forward-facing way with the public. Would you agree?
Yes. Well, he certainly knew what he was getting into. Recall during the search process that some people were dropping out of their contention for the job because of the public relations situation and the outcry among riders. Got a little heated around here, indeed. What I've seen so far has been people have been willing to hear from Alex. He's definitely got a different approach. He's very affable and he speaks easily. He meets the public easily. Robert Davis was always a bit reticent. Alex is very willing to show his work. He's very willing to listen to suggestions so far. Again, he's new in the job, and the very first thing that he had to deal with was that deeply critical report from the Inspector General, absolutely lacerating the previous management. So he's got that as a roadmap.
Yeah, and he mentioned a few things about how he's going to approach that going forward, right?
Yes, as he said last month, he's going to look at the Inspector General's report and the 2018 landmark HMS review that really went through every aspect of the Steamship Authority's operations, and those two together are going to give him his roadmap for improvement. And one of the things he spoke to was just achieving multi-year planning, looking farther out into the future so as to be able to plan for new boats, because they're getting more expensive all the time and it's hard to find the money for them. The Steamship also now has a grants coordinator, someone applying for grants. So I think we're going to see more grant money coming in for fleet improvements and terminal improvements. A lot to look forward to, kind of a new page, but of course it all remains to be proved. It looks good so far. The table of contents looks very, very appealing, so we'll just see how the chapters run.
All right, and we will keep covering it. Thanks so much, Louisa.
Thanks, Bill.
Turning now to Haley Sandlow, the Gazette's newest reporter, who started just last week. Welcome, Haley.
Thanks, Bill.
This week, Haley wrote a ton of stories, including one on a plan to revive a beloved tennis tournament in Oak Bluffs, one that stretches back to 1959. Haley, let's check in with listeners. What's going on?
So back in 1959, there was a round-robin tournament of tennis at Niantic Park, started by 3 couples, and it slowly grew over the course of 35 years into the Oak Bluffs Tennis Club. And it was a big tradition over Labor Day weekend, a big tennis tournament with lots of people, lots of social events, and a really great way to say goodbye to the summer, get together, and celebrate tennis.
And one of the unique things of this tournament, it was Oak Bluffs, so it was mostly people of color, not only, but that was a big part of it, and that was the 3 founding families, correct?
Exactly. It was founded, and the first winners of the tournament were Lincoln Pope Jr. and his wife, Gloria. It was a mixed doubles tournament.
And an incredible trophy.
And an incredible trophy, too. It was a mug with tape over it that said 1959 champions.
Perfect.
And the goal of its revival, started planning last year by Gatsby and Donella Coram, is to really get kids of color to play tennis, which is a more non-traditional sport. You know, it's not basketball or football, but the barriers to entry are really low. You know, you just need a court, a player, and a racket. And so he's introducing a philanthropic element to the newly revived tennis club to support kids of color on the island to play tennis and hopefully get some scholarships to keep on playing it.
It was really fun. Along with the story, we checked in with some old photos, and there was the legendary Johnny Rogers, who was actually my first tennis teacher back in the Niantic Park courts, because I was an Oak Bluff summer kid. So seeing him and thinking about this coming back means a lot to me, too. Now, Gatsby said they're hoping it'll be at Niantic Park, but it's not definite yet where the tournament will be, right?
Right. There are some details that they still have to work out. They're talking to Farm Neck Tennis Club, also East Chop. The hope is that it's at Niantic Park. They're also hoping to partner with the USTA and the ATA, the United States Tennis Association, and the American Tennis Association, to contribute to their goals of getting more people playing tennis. And obviously, you can't do that without people of color.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Haley.
Thanks, Bill.
You can read more on these stories and all the news for free at vineyardgazette.com. This weekend, if you hear some buzzing overhead when you're outside, it's not a UFO. It's likely the deer drone survey being conducted by the new group Tick-Free MV. They're using infrared cameras to detect deer hotspots. We already know the island has a higher density of deer than anywhere else in the state. This survey will help with better estimating the size and distribution. The survey goes until March 7th. Beetlebug Farm Stand has reopened after its winter break. And for those who read Susie Middleton's Cook the Vineyard newsletter, you know she missed her farmer's loaf. I also love their poblano pesto and fresh pasta. The farm stand is a feast for the senses. It's near the end of February, a time when winter starts to feel old, even though the forecast says we might get more snow. That made me think of an interview with the late Ham Luce, a farmer and caretaker who grew up on his family's farm on the shores of Sedgecontacket.
I think what makes New England so great is that we do have everything. You know, the sea and the mountains aren't that far away, and the great beaches. And I like to change the climate. I would never want to live where it was summer all the time, or I wouldn't want to live where it was winter all the time. I think New England has, the seasons are great, you know, the change of season. I'm one of the few people who enjoy winter, I guess. I really like winter. I wouldn't want it to last forever, but I do enjoy it while it's here, you know. I think along about February, you begin to get you've had about enough of it.
Ham Luce says he's had enough of February, and so have I. This interview was collected by Lindsay Lee for the Martha's Vineyard Museum. Our theme music is from island composer and musician Michael Hayden. If you like the show, please follow us so you won't miss an episode, and you should follow us on Instagram to see some of the recording of this podcast. And tell a friend who loves the vineyard. Thanks to our sponsor, Martha's Vineyard Bank, a community bank whose employees live and work locally, providing personalized guidance and committed to understanding the needs of the community. Learn more at mvbank.com. I'm Monica Brady-Myrov. Thanks for joining us on The Vineyard. Talk to you next week.